My fellow Decepticons, it is I, Starscreamsalot here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the high-grade Char Zagok and mass production Zagok. Now, I thought that I would do one more, maybe two other reviews before I do Devastator, because that's going to be a little annoying. And I just really wanted to talk about the Zagok, because it's my favorite mobile suit design. And I don't have too much else to say, other than let's get right to it. So I'm going to take a look at both of them in terms of the detail-wise. But I do also really quickly want to talk about the build. Now these are the exact same kit. There's no difference at all aside from the color. And that's literally it. So the build is the same, and I do really enjoy the build. I got this one after I got this one, and I did really enjoy the build on him. I thought that it was just nice, and I enjoyed the process when I was doing it. Same with him. I feel like some of the pieces were, I don't know, a little bit odder. I mean, this is an older kit by I think a year or two. This one was I think 2002, 2003, and he was 1999, so he was pretty old. And it's probably the way that the joints are made, from what I understand, that the joints on both of these guys are pretty loose, especially with this one though. Like, that's pretty bad. And it's mostly in the legs, but with this Zagok specifically, the arms are kind of loose as well. With him, it's not as bad, but, you know, it's just annoying. But that is kind of why I am more fond of this Zagok. But there are Zagoks with better builds, I will say. So starting with the detail on Char's Zagok, you can see that, like with the last model kits we talked about, there's no actual paint on this guy. All this color separation and details are either part of the plastic or it's a sticker. The only stickers on this guy were the mono eye and this square hexagon on the chest for both of them. And I mean, it does its job. You know, this Zagok's not an entirely complicated design, so, you know, it didn't need too much else. There's not a whole lot of, you know, color separation or extra details that I needed to add. This isn't a real grade, although I do want that thing. It just looks good. I mean, there's not a whole lot of, like, molded detail. There's some lines that go along certain parts of his body, like on his arms and on his legs, on his feet, which it could be used for panel lining, which I do want to try at some point. And the claws, very nice white color. In fact, all the colors on the Zagok are really nice. I like the sort of salmon orange pink mix that he's got going on for the main body, and I do really like this dark red for the everything else pretty much. And that being complemented with the gray just really looks nice, especially with the white claws. But that's not to say that the other one looks bad at all. I think the lighter blues and the darker blues come together really nicely to make just a nice looking kit. This is the exact same thing detail-wise. There's a couple of little nub marks that I probably could have gotten rid of, but you know, it's not too big an issue, although there's a couple in the claws that maybe I should get rid of at some point, but I digress. I do really think that these Zagoks look really nice, both of them. Both of them look really freaking good. And, I mean, that's just kind of all they have to do. They look good, and I like them for it. In terms of, you know, details and colors and whatnot, they're both good. Like, they pass. Now, I do sort of wish that the mono eye wasn't a sticker so that it could freely move, but I do understand that these are both pretty old kits. So that definitely wasn't in the cards, so I can understand why these are stickers. It's just a little annoying. And again, the loose joints are pretty rough. And another thing that I want to point out that I don't think that I've noticed before is that the plastic on this Zagok, the Char's Zagok, feels a little bit nicer, a little bit more, almost denser than it does on this one. I mean, they have the same weight, I'm sure that they do. This one feels a little heavier, a little meatier. It just feels nicer. And this one does. Maybe it's just because the joints on this guy in particular are pretty loose. Which is why I'm probably going to use this Zagok as sort of a test dummy for customizing either him or the high-grade Leo that I have. But I mean, yeah, they look good. They do look good. Now in terms of articulation, it's both exactly the same for both of them. Nothing at the head, as you could probably expect. The arms are kind of universal. They are on a ball joint, so they do rotate. You will kind of struggle to hit a 360, but you can. Unlike the squeak that made, though. There is a rotation here at the bicep. Rotation at the bicep. Rotation at the bicep. Or whatever. Giving you a little bit of a little motion right there. And then the elbow does bend. Not exactly 90, but pretty close. And in tandem with the arms, it does get to about 90. So you can hit whatever kind of arm poses you want. And then each of these claws open up to reveal the shooter hole. I'm not too familiar with Gundam weaponry. Or model kit weaponry, I suppose. This isn't blast effect compatible with anything, so that's unfortunate. The waist is on a rotation. You can arch back, crunch, side to side, the works. And the legs are kind of weird because they're on like an angle, so he can't necessarily kick back. He can't necessarily kick forward. Like, this is about as far as it's gonna get, but it's kind of weird. But you know, he can kick, I guess. Thigh rotation. You also get that same kind of, you know, bend. And then the knee does bend at, I think that's a 90. The ankle kicks up, toe down, and a decent pivot. And it pivots the other way too, because this is, and it's on a ball joint, so you know, you can get just about whatever kind of pose you can think of. He doesn't pose crazy, these Zagoks, but you know, you can definitely do a good number of things with him, and I like that. I like it a lot. And as for articulation on the other one, like I said, it's exactly the same. It's just if the joints are a little bit looser, so you know, it's just kind of a bit more annoying to pose than the other one. But I do still like it. It does still pose well, and he can hold a pose. Even with the loose joints, poses can be held. And I'm a fan of this. He can do that, I guess, whatever that is. He can do the killing the gym pose. Okay, maybe not so much this guy. Well, yeah, he can get the killing the gym pose, you know. He does what he needs to do. And I do enjoy this kit. And now for some quick size comparisons. These guys are both high grades at the 1/44th scale, and they are the exact same height. So here is Earthrise Starscream for comparison. Let's flip him on the camera a little bit better. Go Earthrise Starscream. Here is a random high grade that I have, the high grade HGUC. Yeah, they're a little on the short side. I think they're a tad smaller than the HGUC, so I like my Zagoks to be decently sized, but I think this is canonical. I mean, it's 1/44th scale, so, you know, it is what it is. And here's the gym. I think he looks really nice next to the gym. Yeah, I mean, that's about it with my Zagaks. And that, my friends, is the review of the high-grade Universal Century Zagak. Now, for my final thoughts a little bit, I think these are some really nice kits. I do think that they look good, especially for the fact that they're pretty old. I mean, the worst you're gonna get, a couple of seam lines, a couple of odd seam lines here and there, and some loose joints. I have heard breakage issues on some of the joints, so do be careful with that. But with that being said, I think these kits are good. Now, that being said, I would definitely not mind a remaster, especially in terms of the fact that these kits are over 20 years old. We definitely need something new in terms of a Universal Century Zagak. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.